Welcome, everybody. This is the Rotary eClub of Silicon Valley, and you have joined us, hopefully, again for our celebration each week of ideas, innovative, entrepreneurial, educational. However we can get people talking about wonderful things, we give that a shot. And when you think about what it means to serve others, and if you know anything about Rotary, one of the first things you think about is the Rotary Foundation. And so tonight we are going to have you learn a little bit about the why of the Rotary Foundation. First, let me introduce the group we've got. We've got a whole slew of our own members, whom I will introduce individually by name a little later in our broadcast. But our speaker is Cecelia Babkirk. Now, Cecelia has been in Rotary for just over 20 years. She's actually just on the front end of her third decade in Rotary. She is a member of the Rotary Club of Cupertino and has been for the last 8 years. She has served as the District 5170 assistant, as an assistant governor for District 5170, and she is currently the District Rotary Foundation chair. So she is exactly the right person to come and talk to us in Rotary Foundation Month about the why of the Rotary Foundation. And with that, I am going to hand it over to Cecelia. So Cecelia, the microphone is yours, and we are seeing your slides, so jump right in.
Thank you, Rushton. Okay, so a lot of people are Rotarians and have been Rotarians for a very long time, and you're always hearing about the Rotary Foundation. Give for this, give for that. But very few Rotarians connect that the Rotary Foundation is really our foundation because it's our money. The staff doesn't like you to say that, but it is our money, and we not only have the right to contribute, but we have the opportunity to serve by doing really great projects that make a difference in the world. So a little primer for those who have not been in Rotary very long, and a reminder for those that have. Both Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation, even though they are separate entities for tax purposes, have a mission. And you can see if you read this that those missions are intertwined around the phrases of promote integrity, advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace. In the Rotary International mission, it's through its Fellowship of Business, Professional, and Community Leaders, and in the Rotary Foundation mission, it's through the improvement of health, the support of education, and the alleviation of poverty. So why make Rotary the charity of choice? When you contribute to your foundation, your community benefits, the world benefits, and you benefit. And often it's the you that doesn't know how it is that you're benefiting until you get involved. And involvement is a very important thing. So just some examples. Now, the Rotary clubs in Area 6 of our district are probably our stars at doing joint projects with each other. There are 6 clubs in this area, and every year they do a district grant involving a local project, such as the one pictured here, which is kind of a rebuilding type project where they go to a home of someone who's indigent but still owns their home and helps them garden or paint or whatever. And these are really great projects to do. They also were working with a nonprofit in Gilroy in this project, and it involves somewhat some vocational training things. And then finally, they were working on various projects around a place in Hollister called the Chamberlain House, which houses people that are just not able to take care of themselves but are not in poor enough condition to be in a more intense facility. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but even in our own country, we can do high-impact, large-scale Rotary grants. And I was fortunate to participate in a Navajo solar light installation in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico with Rotarians from the Rotary Club of Durango Daybreak in Colorado and with Rotarians in Oregon. And as you can see, we brought light to this hogun, which is a traditional hogun, not hooked up to electricity or any other modern conveniences. Although you go to some of these and there's a TV in there, and they're powering it with a generator. But you can see what the lights look like on the inside and what the solar panel looks like on the outside. And an outgrowth of this project is going to be a large vocational training type of grant, which is my favorite type of project. And then around the world. Now, in our district, we are really masters at doing large, high-impact projects, and we probably touch 500,000 lives every year with the projects that we do. But Rotary's signature project really is polio eradication. And until polio is completely eradicated and certified for 3 years, we are going to keep at it. Now, the good news is the World Health Organization says that they feel the last transmission of the wild polio virus will take place in December of this year. Year to date, there have only been 24 cases of polio worldwide, and it's now only endemic in 2 countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. So we're making big progress, and one of these days we really won't have to say we're this close any longer. So our foundation allows everyone to become a philanthropist, and in my own club we've had people who have joined because of what they've seen us do through our project trips, which is something I encourage each of you to do. And I believe your club is participating in the wheelchair project that the Rotary Club of San Jose is actually doing grant writing for. And there's going to be a trip associated with that project, and I strongly recommend that you go. It's a very inexpensive trip. The Rotarians in that district, Monterrey, Mexico, are just fabulous hosts, and it will change your life if your life hasn't been changed yet as a result of being a Rotarian. We have shared values. We build relationships. I mean, I'm already having fun with you guys because I've become friends with some of you and you're not even here. We honor our commitments. We connect diverse perspectives. It doesn't have to be my way or the highway. And we apply our leadership expertise to solve social issues. So you can participate in District 5170's $1 million goal, which that is, the club goals all added together are about $700,000, but we at the district would really like to see us get to $1 million, and it's not that hard. For one thing, you can be a part of a program that's called Every Rotarian Every Year, where if every Rotarian in your club makes a contribution, your club gets recognized for that. And there are ways to do it. We have some recognition levels, and those are the 4 that you see on the screen and what those amounts are. And you can set some of this up on what we call Rotary Direct so that the money comes straight out of your checking account without you ever seeing it, or your credit card, or what. You can get miles for your contribution. So Rotary Direct, if you contribute $25 a month, which is the minimum, you will be a double sustainer or $200 plus at the end of the year. And then, of course, a super sustainer at $42 a month, and at $84, Paul Harris Society. The Paul Harris Society is actually it's a program that started organically, like so many things do in Rotary, with a district with a good idea, and then the Rotary Foundation decided to make it a program. So when you commit to be a Paul Harris Society member, you commit to $1,000 a year. And not everyone can do that, we understand, and not everyone can do it every year, but you don't have to do it every year. As long as you make a reasonable effort, you can be part of the society. And in fact, if you attend conventions or other sort of bigger meetings, there are special meetings for the Paul Harris Society members. So I won't belabor that too much longer. Now, every project that we do that is not a district grant, meaning a global grant, and your club is going to be participating in one financially, falls into one of 6 areas of focus: peace and conflict resolution, maternal and child health, disease prevention, water and sanitation, basic education, and economic and community development. So we're ready for the video.
Okay, so let me get that set up for us.
I'm going to show you kind of visually what the 6 areas of focus are all about.
Okay, here we go. There.
isn't that great? I love that video. Anyway, your club is not quite here yet, but a lot of clubs have their own foundation, and they say, well, but my club has its own foundation, so, I feel like I should contribute to it. But there really is no conflict. Club foundations are perfect for community projects, small scholarships, and disaster relief efforts. And heaven knows there are enough disasters going on that everyone has an interest in one or another, and that's where you go to get the money for it. Our foundation, the Rotary Foundation, is not really designed for disaster relief. We're designed for doing the jobs that need to be done after the cleanup has taken place. So we're here to meet the bigger, higher impact and longer term needs, whether here or abroad. But I want my money to be used locally. I'm speaking to a club tomorrow that this is their mantra. You can even do high impact global grants in your community, and all you have to do is ask us how. You saw the Navajo project. That's going to be a global grant during this Rotary year, probably actually being funded in the next Rotary year. And it's going to have a big impact on that community, because a lot of Americans don't realize it, but right in the heart of our country, we have people living on those reservations who have they live like in any developing country, high unemployment, health problems, and all of the other things. And we can do those things right here. We don't have to send our money overseas. And so the smiles of those who have been touched are their thank yous. And I've seen many, many, many wonderful smiles through my project trips that I've taken and through other things that I've done for the foundation in the way of doing site reviews of large grants. So Rushton, let's move with the next video.
Okay, I'll get that set up.
So now let's go do a project. Join friends, connect and network, share your vocation, skills and passions, and community impact all over the world. One of Rotary's mantras now is join leaders, exchange ideas, and take action. Be a gift to the world. Thank you very much.
Wonderful stuff, Cecelia. This is excellent. This is such a good opportunity, especially for so many of our people who are fairly new to Rotary. Although I would say that the crowd we have joining us tonight for tonight's program is not particularly new. I'm going to have you click on the screen share to unscreen share yours, and I'll introduce the group that we've got here. So looking across at the bottom, you have got Alan Thompson, our club's treasurer. Then you've got Cecelia, who is our speaker, obviously, and who needs to click on that sharing button so that I'm not kind of speaking back at us. And then we've got Chris Cochran, our PR chair in Brockville, Ontario. We have got our Rotary Foundation chair for our club, Frank Trapicchio, who's in Bakersfield. We have our president-elect, Mitty Chang, who is here in the Bay Area, as is our membership chair, Shags Shagrin. And then we have Sviatko Chedorov, who is in Los Angeles, one of our most recently added members. I'm Rushton Hurley. I'm the president. I'm excited to be able to give us a chance to ask you some questions, Cecelia, about some of the different things happening with the Rotary Foundation. So for our participating members, as I can see that you are muted, when you unmute, I will know that you are ready with a comment or a question, and I'll call on you. So when we think about this, Cecelia, when we think about the kinds of things that we experience as part of the Rotary Foundation, I'm guessing that there have been moments for you, like something in particular. Maybe it was that that visit to the Navajo reservation, or another one where it really became very, very real for you. And so if you could speak to like that moment, that could get us going.
Well, my very first Rotary trip was a wheelchair distribution trip in Mexico,
Mm.
in Texcoco near Mexico City, and it was all in a big stadium. There were a lot of people there, and I think we had 240 recipients. There wasn't a dry eye among the Rotarians. I mean, one of the women that I took her off her pallet that she was sitting on and put her on her wheelchair, handed me an apple and said, "This is all I have to thank you." And that was the moment. What can you say? And I've had many, many since that time, because almost all of my travel is somehow Rotary connected. And what I've learned from all this is that people around the world are basically the same. And if they want peace and they want to be able to feed their families, and if the governments would get out of the way, we might be able to do that.
Makes sense. Makes sense to me. So today I'm going to have you take your screen actually and shift it a little bit so up a bit there. Perfect.
Okay.
And let's see, do we have any of our people ready to go with a comment or question? And I see happening. No, I don't. All right. So, Frank, what do you got for Cecelia?
Hi, Cecelia. That was an awesome informational program. I've been in Rotary as long as you have, but the way that this was presented, I think, was so concise and so specific that I found it to be very, very helpful to me to sort of identify the different opportunities. Does the district have a site where Rotarians can go to identify projects that are already in place?
Well, this is meaning projects that need money or need hands-on or something like that?
Any sort, even just so that those of us who may not have had the experiences that you've had in the past can actually go on to this site and review the projects that are being funded or that are already in place, and see what it is that is being done, and perhaps decide to participate in one of them.
Sure. Well, the district maintains, it's kind of hard to explain. Actually, it's all in Google Drive, but we do maintain a list that can be viewed by anyone of all of the district grants that have been approved. Mm-hmm. And to date, we are just at the end of the application cycle for that. So there are a number of grants that are approved, and they're beginning to implement them. So in most cases, at this moment, it would be a hands-on opportunity if there is one, and who knows, with district grants, the clubs can put in as much cash of their own as they want, but they get the grant based on how they requested their allocation of their DDF, which is a whole discussion in itself, and I did not want to go there because it's all those details can be found, or you can contact me and I'll tell you, but to me it's more important the why than the how.
Sure.
If you get the why, you will figure out the how.
Mm-hmm. Okay, to follow up, if I may, so is there a link that I could share with my Rotary Foundation committee members that perhaps would allow them to spend time and take a look at what the district is doing with regard to both community and international service?
Well, okay, so for community, yes, you can go. I'm not sure that what's there is really what you want to, what you are trying to get to, but so you go to the Rotary District 5170.org site, and at the top is a click, a navigation button for the Rotary Foundation, and at the very bottom of that pull-down menu is grants. And so then when you get to the grants page, you click on district grants, and you should be able to find what the clubs are doing there.
Okay. Okay.
Now, for international grants, it's a different problem because we don't often know who's doing what. That's all done online through the Rotary.org site. And frankly, we've pondered since the beginning of the Future Vision pilot in 2010 how to make that information available to people. And just have not, we would call it a clearinghouse probably, but have not yet come up with the right technology for it.
I'll chime in and say that it would be excellent for our newer members to be able to go to a page and that just kind of in prose, says there was this project, there was this project, there was this project, and give short, kind of descriptions, links to videos, kind of giving summaries. That would be wonderful.
That would be a great thing, and you have to watch out about asking these questions because you might be volunteering yourself for a job on the foundation committee. There's been more than one person that fell for that. So, but those of us that are in the leadership of the committee want that, but we have really big jobs, and I try to keep my Rotary work down to 10 hours a week, and it doesn't work. So anyway, and we'll continue to bat ideas around about how to do that because we would like to do it. We think it would be good. Keep the money in your district,
Absolutely. So Sviatko, you were going to ask a question a minute ago, I think. So let's bring you in.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. This was great. I really liked the video with the smiles at the end. That was really awesome.
I love those videos.
Yeah. Might there be a way for us to get the links? Maybe we can include those on the page so people can click through.
Absolutely.
Videos. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So my question is, so obviously the main international issue that Rotary is focused on is polio, and since we're almost done with that, what is next? Is there any information on what issue we'll try to tackle after polio is done?
Well, that's the $64 question, and everybody asks it. The Rotary Foundation is, the trustees are right now working on the possible next thing, but they're a little reluctant, having learned some lessons from the polio campaign, to go out there and choose a project that would end up taking 30 years and $1.65 billion of Rotarians' money. And there are some problems that should be addressed but are really intractable. The AIDS problem, which is starting to kind of get better because of the efforts of others. Malaria would be a big one, and I think if anything, that's what they would work on. But again, how do you stop that? It's a mosquito-borne disease. The humans are the host. It's just a different kind of thing. But there are so many big needs in the world, and I know that they're talking about it all the time, just like we are. Are you all there?
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And so, among the crowd, wave at me if you've got one ready to go. All right, Shags, come on in.
Well, it's a little noisy in the background, but up until some recent times, I've been a very active participant in the Rotary Foundation, and as you said, one idea can go viral, and we had one in my club in Youngstown, Ohio, in Girard Liberty, Poorest to the Poor. And we would deliver clothing and medical supplies and educational supplies and toys all around to the poorest of the poor in the U.S. at some of the Native American reservations, as well as in Guatemala. And I even shared a story where we flew into Mother Teresa's mission when American aircraft had never been allowed, military aircraft never been allowed over Indian airspace, let alone to land in India. And it's all because of Rotary and the foundation that this happened, because of the grants that we got and the connections that we obtained. So it's wonderful. You didn't even mention that, what is it, 100%, well, 100% goes back into the programs, and it's invested for 3 years, and that income from the investments is what funds the operations of the Rotary Foundation. But 100% of contributions end up going to work, as opposed to any other group in the world.
Yes, that's right. And just as important, you can pick the project that you want to do. In our district, we do things quite differently in that, 3 years, when that money comes back, it comes back in the form of a credit. I know some of you know this. It's called district designated funds. And we get to use that money in projects that we design, and it gets matched by the Rotary Foundation. So if your club becomes good at designing good projects and making connections all over the world like we have, you can actually get more back than the money you put in by working with other people around the world. That's what the connections part of it is all about.
Very cool. So do we have anybody else from the gallery with a question ready to go? Barring that, I'd like to say that it's a point of pride for us that that the district fund, or the funds that we had available for such things, are kicking in with the wheelchair project that Governor Susan has going for Mexico for this year. So it's very exciting for us to be able to take part, in our very first year of existence. I mean, that's good fun for us, for sure.
Yes.
Now, we're actually kind of at the tail end of our 30 minutes. So, Cecelia, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wind things down, but I'm going to also turn back to you for kind of a last thought to share with all our members and guests before we finish off. But so while you're thinking through that, everybody who's watching this, you've taken part in our meeting. You've read all the different things that we have there. You've watched several videos that are hopefully inspiring to you in some fashion, and hopefully you're thinking in terms of, wow, this is an opportunity to really be part of the good that happens in the world. There's so many kind of cool things going on with a wonderful group, and we need you to do a couple of things for us. One is let us know you were here. There is the I attended survey just down a little bit farther down the page from where this video is embedded. And then below that, you see our Discuss, D-I-S-Q-U-S, our Discuss chat system. And we want everybody to leave a comment. So the things that you've read, the things that you've seen, the things that are in this program, let us know what you think about those, because this is our chance, even though we are spread all across the world as members of the eClub of Silicon Valley. We want to have those kinds of conversations lead to ideas that make more happen in terms of service, especially with regard to innovation, entrepreneurship, and education, which are the special focuses of our club. So with that, we will turn it back to Cecelia for a last thought.
Well, a last thought I have is, if you are not sure where to find a project and you've traveled all over the so-called first world extensively, I recommend that you go to the Rotary International Convention. My first Rotary convention was in Indianapolis. It was the year before I was going to be president. My club sends its presidents-elect to the convention. And I went to Indianapolis because it was close, and I thought, I'll go see what this is all about and see if it's worth flying to Singapore for. And I sat up there watching all the festivities and the goings-on and people dressed in their traditional dress. And I realized that this is an incredible organization. 1.2 million people meet every week, and out of that, we will eradicate polio. We do provide water and peace and all of the things that we talk about. It's just an amazing organization. So get involved. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Cecelia, for all that you are bringing to our district as well.
Yay!
Well done, Shags. Excellent. And so with that, too, we ask all of you who have been with us today for this meeting, visit us again next week. We're constantly looking for those great ideas to share with you and doing our very best to find some way to inspire you. So with that, we hope to see you again soon.